Mrs. Reed?
Yeah, call me Naomi.
Okay. Naomi, my name is Joe Friday. I'm a detective with the police department, and I understand you've been notified already. Is that correct?
Yeah, they told me about Ralph a little while ago.
I'm very sorry for your loss. I'm the one that's looking into your husband's death, and I was hoping that you could answer some questions for me.
You probably already know he was about to be my ex-husband. We were getting a divorce. I guess now that he's dead, I won't have to bother with that.
I understand. And I still have to ask you some questions, though, if you could help me with that.
I guess if I can. So what happened to him? Was it his heart or something?
Well, I'm just kind of in the beginning of the investigation. Hopefully we'll be able to figure that out. Right now, I'm just trying to get a sense of what Ralph was like. What can you tell me about him in general?
Well, he was a good guy when I married him. At least I thought he was. You know, CPA, self-employed, responsible, polite to everybody, outgoing. Seemed like a very solid person. Maybe he was back then.
Okay. And how long ago did you get married?
It was a little over 7 years ago. We were only engaged for like a month. Guess I should have gotten to know him a little better.
I understand. This is always a little awkward for me to ask personal questions about somebody's spouse. It's just that there's some things that I need to know in order to move forward with the investigation. I hope you understand.
Sure, ask away.
All right. So you say that he was a good guy once. I take it that changed?
It was the gambling. That's when it all fell apart.
Okay. What kind of gambling?
Sports gambling. It was a sickness with him. He made good money, but he gambled it all away. Lost our savings, our home. We even had our cars repossessed. You should see the beater I've been driving the last couple of years.
Okay. Did Ralph have a particular bookmaker here locally?
Yeah, some lowlife named Joe Conti, I think. He did some online gambling too. After we lost the house, I was going to leave him, but he promised to change. He even started going to Gamblers Anonymous. I thought we were okay for a while.
Are you absolutely positive he was going? I mean, did you ever meet a sponsor or anything?
Oh, sure. His sponsor is Terry Chambers. Very nice guy. They called each other a lot, sometimes at the office, sometimes at home.
Okay, so Ralph had his own office. Do you work outside the home too?
Yeah, I worked for United Airlines. That's over now. Reservations. I was a regional supervisor, and I couldn't even afford to buy my own lunch most days.
All right. Sometimes people who have a problem with one addiction have trouble with others too. Did Ralph, by any chance, ever use drugs or alcohol?
No, never touched it.
Okay, you sure about that?
Positive. I would have noticed. I mean, Ralph had his problems, but never that.
Okay. So, let me ask you, how did you wind up here?
The week before last, Ralph came home one night. He looked all shook up and stressed. He sat me down, told me we needed to talk, real serious, you know. I thought he was going to tell me he was having an affair. Then he told me he'd gotten involved with some very bad people and we had to go into witness protection. He tried to spin it like it'd be a whole new start for us. Can you believe that? I told him I wasn't going, but he said if I didn't, they'd kill me.
Okay. Did he ever explain why?
He said he'd been gambling again and that he'd started laundering money for some drug group to cover it, you know, to keep up.
Oh, okay. And how did he get involved with that?
Who knows? Probably through one of his low-life friends. Ralph had a problem, but he was a clever guy, a very good accountant. He knew his way around the tax system. Anyway, at some point, the money he was making there wasn't enough, and he borrowed from a loan shark. When he couldn't pay him back, there were some threats. He panicked and used drug money to pay off his gambling debts. I guess the drug people found out, and then he was screwed, like death sentence screwed. And me with him. The only way out he could think of was to go to the cops and turn in the drug people in exchange for immunity and new identities for us. Like I really want to go live in Nebraska or something.
Did he ever mention the name of this loan shark?
Yeah, it was Tamblin, I think. Donnie Tamblin, that's it. Said he hangs out around some bar down on Lower Broad.
Okay, that's helpful. Have you had any contact with anyone since you've been here at the hotel? Any phone calls, anything like that?
They don't allow it. They took our phones before we got here. They even unplugged the phones in the room. We're basically prisoners.
Okay. Let me ask you, even with everything that's happened, you agreed to go into protective custody with Ralph?
Like I had a choice. I said I'd go, but that I wouldn't stay with him, and I wanted a divorce as soon as we got away. That's why they put me in a separate room.
Okay. When is the last time that you saw Ralph?
Sunday when we got here. You can ask my roommate, Agent McNamara here. I haven't left the stinking room once. Maybe you can tell me something. What happens to me now? Am I still in danger now that he's dead? Do I still get protection? They won't tell me anything.
Well, I'm sorry. That's something you're going to have to hash out with the DEA. I'm sure they'll figure something out for you. Another question. Did you have any life insurance on Ralph?
Oh, sure. Like we could afford that. I won't get a dime. God, how am I supposed to pay for his funeral? It's just like him to stick me with the check one last time.
Okay. Had Ralph seemed depressed lately? Did he ever say anything to make you think that he might want to harm himself?
No, not depressed. More like scared and desperate. You have to understand, Ralph was the kind of guy that would do anything to survive. Whatever happened to him, I guarantee it wasn't suicide.
Okay. Now, in a case like this, until I know more about what happened, I have to treat this like a possible homicide. Now, I'm not saying that it was. I've just got to cover all my bases, you understand. With that in mind, can you think of any other reason that somebody might want to harm Ralph? Any other vices that he might have had? Anybody who might be angry with him for any reason?
Not really. Nothing comes to mind. Are we done here?
Yeah, I guess so. That's all I need for now. Thank you for your help, Ms. Reed. And again, I'm sorry for your loss. If anything
Thanks.
comes to mind, just please give me a call.
Thanks.